day, and there's going to be lots of photographs. And apparently now in this modern age, you have to tell people, if you don't want to be in a photograph, you have to stand outside of that area. I really hope everybody wants to be in a photograph and remembers that you were here on this day when we dedicate together. We dedicate 262 acres of parkland. And I think of how lucky it is for all these young people. They should actually, can you guys get undercover? Let's let the young people, hey, can you come in here? And our special guests, stay dry, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, grab the seats. Well, they are the future. Hey, you guys, I'm going to ask a question.
Councillor Watt needs to know.
So all of you from Eagle Harbor School, do you know what we're doing here this morning?
Yeah.
Tell me. What are we doing?
We're opening a new park.
That's right. You're here on this day to join with us and all these nice people to dedicate this land as park. And we do that because I'm the mayor. I call the meeting to order, but first I would like to acknowledge that this meeting is taking place on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam Nation, and we recognize and respect them as nations in this territory and their historic connection to this land since time immemorial. And so now I will formally call the meeting to order. And I'd like a motion, please, to approve the agenda. Move. Seconded. This is how you do it, you guys. And any discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion is carried. And that gets the meeting going. I was very impressed on the way in. Stephen Price, the teacher, or at least the teachers of these wonderful students, introduced me and they said, do you know what level of government that is? And they all answered immediately, municipal government. Well done. So now as we mark this historic moment, we protect 262 acres of Eagleridge Land as park, along with the 704 acres adjoining the district owned land. This is a true milestone for our community. This started over well, actually, I'll give a little longer speech after we passed the motion. But this started in 2012. You could argue it actually went back to the first density transfer in the 90s with Deer Ridge. But combining this parkland with the other areas, we're now creating 3,400 acres of continuous parkland, and I'm told it's one of the largest urban parks in the world. So in November of last year, Council adopted 15 bylaws relating to the Cypress Village and Eagle Ridge. The bylaws brought forward for consideration today is the official Park Dedication Bylaw, which received first, second, and third reading back in November. We couldn't give final reading until the transfer of the property actually occurred, which has now happened, and the land is dedicated by 8 notes. The land is now officially owned by the district of West Vancouver, the people of West Vancouver. And so we are now at liberty to pass this park dedication. The actual bylaw number, so I will ask Councillor Gambioli, the proposed motion is the Parks Dedication Bylaw 5213-2024 be adopted. Do I have a mover? So moved and seconded. Councillor Thompson. And now any discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. So the park dedication is now official. And Pascal, I'm going to ask our corporate officer to come forward. Ms. Dallas is going to come forward, and we are going to do this. Okay, got a pen. with that vote, and with those signatures made, it is now in the record book, it is official, this land is park. We're going to ask a few people to come up and speak, but first I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Contrary carried. The meeting is adjourned, and now as we come, okay, let's see, I don't want to repeat myself too much. So, actually, what I think would be really nice at this point in time, if I could invite the General Councillor and honored Elder Deborah Baker from the Squamish First Nation to come forward and say a few words.
On hot as well. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day with this liquid sunshine. What do you think, you guys? Are you enjoying it so far? Awesome. Good to see you all here. My ancestral name is Ghana. My English name is Deborah Baker, also member of Squamish Nation. I live in the village Hamaltasin. Can you say Hamaltasin?
Hamaltasin.
Which is also known as Capilano. Good job, you guys. That was awesome. Congratulations for 262 acres. Do you know how many acres that is? Yeah, a lot. That was a trick question. I'm so glad you guys got it. I can't believe I'm having trick questions when I haven't had my first cup of coffee yet. The land is also known in our language as Cape Column. Cape Column. Can you guys say that? Cape Column. Very good. Good job. For those of you who live, work, and play in this territory of Squamish Nation and the Tsleil-Waututh peoples, just really want to thank the Creator for bringing us together, and thank everyone, and thank you for that background, Mayor. That was really important to hear that, you know, it didn't happen overnight. It took many years to get to where we're at, and so I'm really, really pleased to hear what you have to share. I also want to acknowledge my dear relative, Halakran, that's here, and he's one of our Squamish people. He's an amazing artist, and I'm hoping one day that maybe there might be a welcome figure up here to recognize the Squamish people. And with that, I'd like to share a song. I'm going to ask my colleague, Calvin Dawson. My apologies, I don't know your ancestral name. Conchton. And we're going to share a song called Reading of the Day, and you're all welcome to join us, especially if you know it. And if you don't, after the beginning, I'll start clapping and you can join us, and we're going to clap to the beat of the drum.
My hands are a bit shaky.
make it up here each and every day. It's an awesome opportunity to get out and participate, action. And I want to thank you, Mayor and Council, West Vancouver District, for giving us opportunity to share a little bit about who we are as Squamish people, and thank you for the recognition and all my relations.
Thank you so much, Councilor Baker. And now, where is our friend Charlene Alec from the Slater? Not here. Too bad. We had a meeting with her a couple of weeks ago. Well, I would like to take a moment and just recognize that the work on this actually started a long time ago. The first density transfer was back in the 90s, but it was really the council in 2012 that set up the Upper Lands Committee that studied this, the use of the property, and made the recommendation, and started working towards the recommendation that made this a reality today. And I do recognize the people who were on that committee, and I'd just like to say a special thanks to Brian Walker, Mike Philippoff, Alan, who will speak in a moment, Grant Nichols, Rebecca Buchanan, Heather Johnston, Sabia Farina, and of course Andy Crossick, who was, Andy, put your hand up, he was the chair of the committee, and Ashley Bowman. And I'd also like to recognize and thank, of course, British Pacific Properties for being willing to participate in those early studies. Jeff and Bryce are here, Jeff Cole and Bryce, put your hand up back there. And also I'd really like to thank Jim Bailey, who is our director of planning, who saw this through the whole process. Jim, put your hand up. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize we have a special guest who's joined us, the Honorable Andrew Wilkinson, who is now the Minister of Energy and appropriately Natural Resources. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I think it's appropriate because this land, which is part of the House on Biosphere, is a national, it's important to us as a local community, but it really is a national treasure. To see this land protected for all time. And so make sure they know we're doing good things out here on the West Coast, okay? And with that, could I ask you to come on up and say a few words on behalf of the Old Growth Conservancy, which is a big part of this.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah. I'm never sure which hat I'm wearing. It was for the Old Growth Conservancy Society, but I was also involved with the Upper Lands Growth way back in 2012 when this proposal first came around. And we heard the suggestion from Trish Pans that maybe we can arrange a density transfer to save all of this green space and get more density inside this village to make it an economically viable community. And that was back in 2012, and here we are in 2025. It's finally happening. So thank you to all the councils that did this, and thank you especially to this council that brought it home. Excellent job. Thank you. It's amazing the amount of green space, that continuous green space for the wildlife, for the plants that this creates. So that there is just so much to celebrate. And of course, I also have to thank BBP who were willing to provide the land so that we can get this this continuous green space. It's wonderful. Now, the Old Growth Conservancy Society was created back in 2007 to partner with the district in the management of the Old Growth Conservancy. And we've continued on since then, helping to make sure that the conservancy is safe and protected in perpetuity. And we basically have two purposes to the society. The first is to ensure the ecological protection of the conservancy, and we've now expanded that to include old growth in all of West Vancouver. So basically that means if we want to protect it, we have to keep people out. but we've got a second purpose of making sure that the people of West Vancouver understand and appreciate the value of the Conservancy. Which means bringing them in so that they can see it. So we've got this balancing act, the yin and yang, of protecting it while bringing the public in. And we're just thrilled that there's more land now available to bring people in. We have public tours that we give every summer, so if you're interested, you can go to our website, ogcs.ca, and sign up for a tour. Do it early, they book up early every year. But it's a wonderful opportunity to get up there and learn about old growth characteristics. And we even go into the apex area where the forest is virtually untouched. You know, the forest up there is just like it was when Europeans first arrived on Earth's shore. So, as I say, we're just thrilled to have this opportunity to welcome more park space that we can take people to as part of our tours. So, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all of your efforts for our community. Thank you. I should just say, for those of you who don't know about the house on Biosphere, I'd just like my dear friend Ruth Simon to put your hand up. She's standing right there under that nice umbrella. Go up, and she's got also some Biosphere pins for some of the young people. It really is significant. But now it's time to hear from the next generation, the caretakers of this land going forward. Could I invite Pavlina Haldiak to come forward? She's going to read us a poem. Come on forward.
Ode to the opening of Nelson Canyon Park. A beautiful park, that's all I need. A peaceful place to smell the breeze. A place to play, a place to write my poetry. A place to watch the eagles soar. A place to play on the sunlit shore. I wish to see my peers grin. I wish to see our stories begin. This park will spark our creations and imaginations. And now the sun will rise on this beautiful place. The edges of our hearts will fill with pride as our new park emerges before our eyes.
And just before we wrap up, I'd really appreciate it. I know this is unplanned, but Jeff, could I invite you to come up and say a few words on behalf of British Properties? Because of course this wouldn't have been possible without you and your company's agreement.
This is so unplanned, I wrote a speech. Thank you to everyone for coming out today to share in this special celebration. Thank you to the representatives from the Squamish First Nation. Your presence here today makes this moment all the more meaningful. It's too bad that Charlene from Swaylatuk couldn't be here today because her daughter Sky played soccer with my daughter Sandy was here, so you could have said hello to her. Thank you to all the Eagle Harbor Elementary students here today. Would you guys rather be here or in the class right now? Okay. I'd like to acknowledge my team here today, Bryce Tupper, Sue Rutledge, Jason Wexler, Emily Taylor, Shane Devine, Leslie Dethridge. I think that's pretty much everybody. Wow. This mayor and council have been on a roll with park acquisitions and dedications lately. And I was thinking, and I'm just throwing this out there, what if we officially changed their name from the District of West Vancouver Mayor and Council to Parks Are Us? Got a catchy ring to it. So give it a thought. So today's park dedication is a big day for British Properties, a big day for the District of West Vancouver, the community, and for me personally. Today we are celebrating the acquisition and dedication of public park of 262 acres of land, which we know from Fort is a lot, at no cost to the taxpayer. that for the past 94 years has been designated for residential housing. So would you guys rather have arbutus trees behind me or houses? Good answer. So today we are celebrating the permanent protection of a forest of trees, creeks, wetlands, trails, and wildlife instead of a forest of single-family homes. Bryce has always referred to the protection of Eagleridge Lands and the transfer of the development potential to Cypress Village as the big move. Today, the big move seems like a no-brainer, but for me, it's been a 19-year journey. Although I was born and raised in West Vancouver, I didn't walk these lands behind me until I first started working for British Properties. I remember distinctly the first time I walked these lands behind me for the first time. It was almost 20 years ago. I was accompanied by our friendly neighborhood BC legal surveyor, Bill Chapman, where are you? Good. And one of the city's top real estate appraisers and one of the country's top litigators. Our mission was to determine the value of these lands as if they were developed for residential housing, as we were dealing with an appropriation claim with the province. And even though the focus of the development of that visit was development potential, I was struck by the beauty, the uniqueness, and the serenity of these lands. Over the next 2 decades, I've spent more time in this land, enjoying the recreational opportunities, the nature, the views, the undulating topography, appreciating the efforts to have built a fantastic network of trails and goat paths that crisscross the landscape. And this became the go-to place for family hikes on Christmas Day, Father's Day, holidays, sunny days, rainy days. And I started to name all the special features that I saw, like the Arbutus Grove, or the Fern Grotto, Fisherman's Cove Lookout, the Black Mountain Lookout. So needless to say, I was conflicted with my day job as a real estate developer and my love for the outdoors. So luckily, along came the Upper Lands Study Review Working Group, or as I like to call them, the artists formerly known as the Upper Lands Group. And they took a comprehensive look at all the lands above the highway, and one of their conclusions was, thou shalt not develop Eagleridge, and thou shalt dedicate these lands as public park, and that shall be good. So in order to acquire these lands at no cost to the taxpayer, they determined that the development potential of British Properties Eagleridge Lands could be transferred to Cypress Village Lands. This is a very sound concept, and as Mayor Sager mentioned, he pioneered this 20 years ago with Steve Nichols. And but to do it on such a large and complex scale would require leadership and collaboration. So enter Bryce Tupper and Jim Bailey. In 2015, I hired Bryce to lead the planning of Cypress Village, and shortly thereafter, the district hired Jim Bailey to lead the planning for all of West Vancouver. And Bryce and Jim led the collaborative process that got us here today, with the assistance of many dedicated people, including the team from Coriolis, Nicole and Blair and Jay Wallenberg are here today. A great staff that Jim has in West Van Planning, West Van Parks. And they came up with something that worked for everybody. But ultimately, it was up to the mayor and council to make the final decision, and they too showed leadership in making this dream finally a reality. So in total, we're dedicating 966 acres today, or that has been dedicated, of new park in Eagleridge and the surrounding lands. But this is just one piece, although a significant piece, of a much larger puzzle. Combining this new park with the 1,932 acres dedicated last year by this council, along with White Lake Park, Nelson Canyon Park, and Old Grove Conservancy, creates over 3,400 acres of contiguous park stretching across the West Vancouver hillside from the Kapana watershed in the east to the Howe Sound waterfront in the west, make it one of the largest urban parks in North America. That is over 3 Stanley Parks. This is a major milestone for British Properties, for West Vancouver, and for the region. So as a civil engineer, my career spanned hydroelectric plants, roads, bridges, industrial buildings, homes, neighborhoods, communities, which are enduring tangible artifacts, but in the big picture, these achievements are not permanent. A park is permanent. A park is forever. So today marks a highlight of my career. But today's not just about me. It's about tomorrow and the future generations. It's about you guys here from Eagle Harbor Elementary. It's about my kids, my grandkids, and my grandkids' grandkids. And speaking of kids, by a show of hands, how many of my kids are here today? One. Okay. My daughter Sam. And by show of hands, how many grandkids are here today? All are up like, in the Lion King. So in closing, Levi, this park is for you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Now, okay, you guys, you've been really patient, all of you, and this nice gentleman has supplied some treats and refreshments, but the next thing you do at an event like this,
Cut the ribbon.
cut the ribbon. And I think it would be really fun if all of you from Eagle Harbor got with council and stood over here and be in the photo, as long as you don't mind having your photo taken. Here we go. We're going to cut this here. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wait, we'll get it. Hold on. Everyone shopping this. 3. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Please stick around. This is great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.